Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Britt, healer, astro girly, Jackie of all trades, owner of the Power Passion LLC. If you want to book with me, link is in the description box below. Alright, so as you read by the title, we are going to be talking about the movie Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. So I watched this movie probably at the end of 2022, and I wasn't really that far into my spiritual journey. So now I rewatched it and my mind was blown. So for today's video, I really wanted to just dive into what we can really learn about manifestation through this movie. Let's get into it. If you have not watched the movie before, I suggest you watch it after watching this video to see what I'm talking about and see what you guys think. Comment below. What are your thoughts about the movie? If you think the movie's stupid, tell me. Tell me. I'm here to prove that the movie ain't that dumb. As y'all know, I got to pull up my notes, okay? The movie opens up and we are introduced to certain characters. There is Evelyn, who is the main character. There is Joy, who is her daughter, and then there is her husband, Wayman. And they also introduce Evelyn's father. He's not that important. So Evelyn, as we are introduced to her, is essentially a very bitter and angry woman. She hates her life. She doesn't like her husband. She doesn't like owning her laundromat. She's very judgmental of her daughter. Her daughter doesn't really come visit her because, you know, they have a troublesome relationship. She kind of stresses herself out about the opinions of her father and the thoughts he has about the life that she has created. So this first version of Evelyn is known as the rock bottom version of her. She is the version that has the most potential, because when you are at your lowest, you have nowhere else to go but up. Like they said in the movie, quote, "Because you're so bad at everything, you're capable of anything." So Evelyn had so much potential, but she wasn't able to see that in herself. So we get into the movie. She has to go to this tax office to straighten out stuff. She's with her husband and her father. We get into the elevator, and then all of a sudden, Wayman kind of snaps. He shifts. Yeah, I'm gonna call him Wang. His full name was Wayman Wang. All right, so we're introduced to the other universe's Wang. Essentially, he took over his body and was communicating with Evelyn in the elevator. He was telling her, hey, you got options. You can do this. Gave her a list of instructions. You can do this, and this will happen. At the time, Evelyn was very defensive, very resistant. She was told about Jobu Tupaki. She's like, I don't know who this Jobu Tupaki is. What are you talking about? What are you doing here? What are you even doing? But Evelyn decided to cooperate. She decided to go with the instructions she was given, and she started quantum shifting. The thing is, like, yes, she quantum shift, but she had no real confidence in her ability. She views herself as so small, so useless, that although she had so much power and she was able to do it, she even showed herself she was able to do this quantum shifting and quantum jumping, she still couldn't believe it. She still could not believe in herself. She still could not see that she had all the power. So eventually, later in the movie, we're introduced to Jobu Tupaki. She is probably the most violent and dangerous version of her daughter. She knows her power and she's willing to destroy anything. So Jobu Tupaki, Evelyn, they finally meet. And I see Jobu Tupaki as representing Evelyn's limited beliefs, her negativity, her wounds, her negative mindset, any societal standards, her demons, any negative entities, even addictions. I see Jobu Tupaki as that. And Jobu Tupaki was essentially there to stop Evelyn from shifting. Because if Evelyn shifted, she knew that this Evelyn was able to defeat her. So she was going to do what she could to stop this Evelyn from going on, and was essentially like, okay, join me, come with me. Like, I think that is so indicative of our negative mindset and how that spiral happens. Those negative mindsets will literally grab you by your collar and drag you down with them. That's what they want. They want you to join in the misery. So one of the biggest things that stuck out to me about Jobu Tupaki was what she said to Evelyn. She told Evelyn, "You're so much bigger than you realize." And it just reminded me that all of these negative entities are looking at you like, how foolish. She doesn't even know how powerful she is. He doesn't even know how much he's able to make happen and accomplish. They don't even recognize what kind of power they have. How foolish. I hope she never finds that power though. I hope she uses her power to destroy herself. Isn't that something? Woo, child. And in the scene, the tone it was that Jobu Tupaki pitied Evelyn. She was like, "You're so sad, like, ew." And it was just like Evelyn kept looking at everything that was negative. She just nitpicked on things that didn't matter. Like you saw on the scene, Evelyn was focused on Jobu Tupaki having pink hair. She over here nitpicking on Jobu Tupaki's outfit, like, what are you wearing, da da da, like being very critical and not even focusing on the task at hand. Hello, this girl is trying to end you. Allegedly, in your head, you think that Jobu Tupaki is trying to kill you. Why are you even worried about that? Which highlights that, like, we be worried about the wrong things. We end up being judgmental of not only other people, but ourselves. Because there's no way that you can be that judgmental to other people and you're not doing that to yourself internally. Everybody gets the judgment, including you, when you are in that mind space. And when Evelyn was shifting, I really noticed how she romanticized all of her other lives. Like each life she would be like, I wish I did this, I wish I made a different decision, like this life was so much better than the life I have. She could not see how good she had it. She wasn't able to see it. All she could see was negativity. And Evelyn truly believed if she lived a different life, she would be happier. If she made different decisions, she would have been happier, or she would have been more beautiful, or her life would have been more exciting. And she wasn't even focusing on the fact that she could make her life beautiful and exciting then and now. In the version that she already was, she could have did that. It wasn't too late for her to make her life beautiful. She had access to that happiness already. It was right there. All she had to do was shift her perspective. All she had to do was change what she focused on. But what you identify with is going to influence your choices. What you choose reflects who you are being. So now we get deeper into the movie. She's doing more quantum shifting, and we see like a lot of strange universes. And I think that they show these strange universes to say like, hey, like anything is possible. Y'all think that this fame, fortune stuff is big? Imagine having a fucking raccoon on your head, bitch. Like all of this shit is possible. But if we do not think it's possible, it cannot manifest here. It will not manifest in this realm if we do not believe in it. The possibilities are literally endless, and they can be very extreme. The impossible is possible, but if you think it's impossible, there's no possibility that it can happen. And even if it did happen, you were shown with your eyes, you would deny it because confirmation bias. So like I said, Jobu Tupaki, Evelyn, we meet. In that first meeting, Jobu Tupaki essentially told Evelyn, put your hands together, open up. I want you to see something. And she was introduced to the everything bagel. So Jobu Tupaki is telling her, hey, I put everything on this bagel. All of my dreams, my hopes, my bills, my this, my that, anything you can think of, I put it on this bagel. She said my old report cards, I put every breed of dog, I put every person who's ever existed, etc. She put it on that bagel, which means she stopped holding on to these things, released them, and she came to the truth that none of it mattered. And what is matter? What is matter? And when she said it, it clicked for me that nothing exists. So essentially, what I'm saying is things only exist because we decided it did. It's all about your decision. Nothing exists unless you focus on it. But when you're not focusing on it, it's not happening. At least not in your reality. So Jobu Tupaki essentially highlighted for me, if you put it down, you actually put something down, and you actually release it, it doesn't exist. And this is the same thing with your limited beliefs. If you actually put it down, it does not exist. Any barrier that you have in life, if you put it down, if you released it, if you actually surrendered, it would not exist. It'd be gone. Poof, just like that. You're a magician. Hello. Did you not realize what a magician you are? Just put it down. Out of sight, out of mind. Which is really out of consciousness, out of existence. Not in your consciousness, it doesn't exist. There's a ton of things that probably exist in somebody else's universe, but it doesn't exist in mine. So I don't know anything about it. But things only exist if we focus on them. That's what you want to focus on. It exists. We are the ones that give things meaning. You give everything a meaning in your life. So this is where I have to ask you the question. What is it that matters in your life? What are the things you are putting your energy on? I promise you, if you took your energy off it, it wouldn't exist. But that's the thing, we have to learn how to take our energy off of things. And I think that is the issue that a lot of people have within manifesting. How can I take my energy off of something I'm so used to putting my energy onto? But that's for another video, Bookie. I ain't come to teach all that. The statement goes, this just reminds me of what I read in the Joe Dispenza book. They did a study. They looked at a particle. Once they stopped putting attention to that particle, once they stopped focusing on that particle, the particle no longer existed. Once we stopped focusing on it, once we stopped observing it, it stopped existing. It essentially says, like, once something is taken out of your awareness or your consciousness, it doesn't exist. All right, so next, let's talk about the shifts, the quantum shifts. Okay, so what I noticed is that everybody had their own different, unique action they had to do in order to shift. Nobody had the same thing. And this is what I'm saying. This manifesting thing, it is your journey. It's all about you. You are the star of the show. You will always be the star of the show. So stop looking at other people and what they're doing. Do what feels right for you in terms of making your life and your dreams come true. But understand that the unique thing they had to do, this was different from the norm. This was different from the things that they were used to doing. This was different from their level of normalcy. And yes, the movie had extremes. Yes. But understand that there are certain things we'll do that just feels extreme to our nervous system. Logically, we know that it's not extreme, but because we are changing, because we are doing something different, it becomes extremely uncomfortable, and we have to push past that discomfort and do the things that we've never done before. And what I was noticing in the film is the more Evelyn did it, the more comfortable she got with quantum shifting, the easier it got for her. All of these realities became so easily accessible, and it got to a point where shifting became innate. But those shifts did not become easy until she believed that they were easy. Until she was able to see how easy it was going to be hard for her. She just had to see that she was able to do all of these things easily, whether she was aware of it or not. She always had access to the power. All she had to do was believe in herself. All you have to do is believe in yourself. Hello. I could end the video right there, but I won't. We are going to get into the next part of what I like to call the butterfly effect, the compound effect. There are already different versions of you within this universe. A different set of decisions. A different set of decisions creates a different version of you. Decisions. What are decisions? They could be feelings. They could be physical action. They could be thoughts. They could be beliefs. So this different version of you took a different route. And because they have taken a different route, they impact the world differently. They shift the entire world differently. There are already different versions of you within the universe. Now, what the heck is the universe? I defined it. The universe just holds infinite versions of you based upon your choices. Some say this is a multiverse. All right, so now that we have defined what a universe is, let's get into what my next point is. Look at Evelyn. She just owned a laundromat in this one life. Her other life, she was a famous movie star. She was good at jujitsu, martial arts. She was good at that. And she ended up being this movie star, which completely impacted the world differently, because now what? She got movies. Now these movies, these people are going to watch it. It's going to impact the world differently. It's a butterfly effect. You essentially affect all of the people that end up being around you with your choices. And because those people have their own separate lives, your choices will impact their choices, and their choices will impact everybody else's choices. We're all connected in some way. That's all I'm trying to say. If I'm confusing you, I'm so sorry. But understand that the culmination of change that you create changes your environment. It changes the world. And the reason it impacts the entire world is because we are all one. And this goes back to the universal law of oneness. So I say this to urge you to allow your changes, allow these new actions, these new ways of thinking, these new beliefs, these new feelings to culminate. Allow it to build up and see how your life changes. What's that quote they say? They say, to see the change, you must be the change. And understand that the world doesn't have to change. You do. Some of y'all are just waiting. Keep on waiting, waiting on the world to change. Girl, you need to change. And understand that the more changes you make, the more impact you will have in manipulating your 3D reality. And also note that sometimes the change is just about your mindset, your perspective. Sometimes the change could just be about how you feel. It could be about regulating your nervous system. It could be about your actions, your physical actions, what you're doing. Sometimes you need to sit down. Sometimes that's the action you need to do. Rest. I know that's my action I need to do, child. But sometimes what you're doing just isn't working and you need to stop. While other times you need to actually get up and take action. But it's all specific to you and your circumstance. All right, next, I would like to talk about that scene where Tupac goes and kills off the other universe's Wayman and the team that he was set up with. It was like her spiritual guides and her intuition. That's what was guiding her and helping her to do her different decisions and try and shift and quantum jump and all that stuff. And Jobu Tupaki, aka what I see as her limiting beliefs, negative mindset, etc., came and cut off that communication. See, the way them negative emotions will really blind you and have you think you out here alone, that you're not powerful, you can't do it, you're useless, and they will, in a sense, cut off your communication with your spirit guides, cut off your communication with God, your intuition, that communication with your true self. If you allow this negativity to be that powerful in your life, then it will cut your communication off with your intuition. If you give your negative mindsets enough power, it will isolate you and you will have to essentially save yourself. But for real life purposes, your spirit guides are always with you. God's always with you. Only thing that makes them not be with you is your awareness. But know that God, spirit, they will never leave your side. But if you think you're alone, then that's what you are. If you believe that you're alone, God will let you believe it. All right, so eventually we go off into the next scene, and Joy, which is Evelyn's daughter, finally reappears. Evelyn says to Joy, like, hey, it's only a matter of time before you become just like her, referring to Jobu Tupaki. So I translated that as it's only a matter of time before Jobu Tupaki destroyed Evelyn, because that is what Evelyn thought Jobu Tupaki was after. She thought that Jobu Tupaki was trying to kill her. So Evelyn came to the decision that if she could understand Jobu Tupaki, then she will be able to save her Joy. That's what she said. She was referring to her daughter, but I saw that as a double entendre. So if she was able to understand Jobu Tupaki, aka her negative beliefs, her demons, all the things she hates, everything she hates about her life, it's everything negative. If she's able to understand that, she will be able to save her joy, aka her happiness. So yes, we go on. Evelyn decides, hey, I'm gonna do this thing. I have the power to do it. She decided, I'm gonna get up and do this quantum shifting. I don't know about you, but I'm gonna get up and do this quantum shifting and save me and my daughter, me and my joy. We get deeper into the movie, and she doing a lot of quantum shifting, like a little bit too much, and she eventually is reaching mental capacity, and she was overwhelming herself with so many shifts. Remember, she's still human, and I think we can learn something from this, because I feel like when you're in a healing journey, a lot of times, like, we'll do so many shifts and we'll heal so many parts of ourselves, but we don't take the time to sit down and actually just sit with the progress we've made, like, and understand, like, hey, we need to calm down and stop shifting all the time. Sometimes we need to sit down. Sometimes we need to rest. There needs to be balance in our lives. We can't always be healing. That's one thing I've been learning recently. I can't always be healing. I can't always be doing inner work. I have to go and live my life. I have to go and actually apply the healing and apply the shifts. So this was just a reminder to, like, not overdo it. Take your time when you are shifting, because when you don't end up taking that necessary time when you are shifting and changing your life, you end up losing your mind. And that's essentially what happened to Evelyn. She lost her mind. She was unable to ground herself in one reality. There were too many realities. She kept shifting from this reality to that one, to that one, to that one. She couldn't ground herself. And this is what I see as the spiritual psychosis. This was spiritual psychosis on film, okay? In her spiritual psychosis, she's still running from Jobu Tupaki. Jobu ends up finding her, snatches Evelyn up, says, you coming with me, Boogie. We are going to this everything bagel. So within looking at the everything bagel, Evelyn ends up seeing the, like, logic behind Jobu Tupaki and understanding it more. It's like something snapped in her. It was essentially like an ego death she had, and she came to the realization that nothing matters. Like, everything's all made up. She realizes that she doesn't have to be who she thought she was before. She doesn't have to listen to society. She doesn't have to do this and that and that. She's not required to do anything. Within that freedom, she kind of let that freedom go to her head and started doing a little crazy stuff. But mind you, she's still in her spiritual psychosis. She's still not really grounded. Like, so the ego death was kind of like, ugh. But let's get into this scene with the rocks. I feel like this is probably the most iconic scene from the movie. Ooh. Oh yeah, this was a great part of the movie. So essentially, the scene with the two rocks talking, it's Evelyn and Jobu Tupaki. It was Jobu Tupaki essentially, like, showing her, like, hey, like, we're all fools. And this is proven with every new discovery that manifests into the world. We are all fools. We do not know everything. And a lot of times we try to put limitations on ourselves. The possibilities are endless. And a new discovery will prove to us how much we don't know. Every single time it will show us how we don't know anything. We are all on this earth doing trial and error. We're going to see what works for us. Stop being so hard on yourself. Stop taking life so seriously, because we're all confused. Even the people that you think have everything together, you think their lives together, they don't know what they're doing either. They're confused too. They stumble across things every day. Nobody's better than you. Nobody's beneath you. We are all just trying to figure things out. Be okay with that. Be okay with confusion. Confusion is not a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with being wrong. Just go with the flow and let the universe surprise you. Because the universe loves to surprise us. The universe loves to see our excitement and our awe, our wow. Like, they love to see that. Let the universe blow your mind. See where life takes you. And be kind to yourself. Show yourself compassion. Be kind to others. Show them compassion. We are all just trying to figure it out. But you need to go with the flow and stop resisting and see where life takes you. See what you're drawn towards. Ask God to illuminate your path. Follow your highest excitement. All right, so on to the next part of the movie. What essentially happens is, yes, Evelyn had her ego death, But with ego death, there is a ego rebirth. So in her ego rebirth, she experienced the feeling of total acceptance. And that is essentially what unconditional love is. She had total acceptance for her life, for what it was, for what she created it to be. She totally accepted it and she was okay with it. And what I've gotten from this was that all parts of you can be loved. Every single part of you can be loved. Even the parts that you think are the worst, the things that you hate the most, can be loved. And what I mean by love is that you can allow it, you can accept it, and you can embrace it. I encourage you to make your life about cherishing the moment. No matter what was in front of you, to just be able to accept it and be so adaptable, to have such an open heart, to know that, yes, I'm here today. I might not like it, but I'll accept it because I know that life doesn't end here. No matter how horrible I define it to be, life doesn't end here. So if you want your life to get easier, accept what you have and work with it. That's what Evelyn did. Her life got easier when she accepted what she had in front of her and she worked with it. And one scene I really enjoyed was Evelyn telling her father, "It's okay that you're not proud of me because I finally am." Because that is so important. How you view yourself, that is the most important part. External circumstances or the way that people view you does not matter. All that matters is you and the way that you see yourself. True acceptance and love of yourself is what you need. And once you can get to that point of true self-acceptance and self-love, you can begin to see how amazing your life already is. No matter what stage it looks like, you can see how amazing your life already is. All right, so later we get into the movie. Essentially, Evelyn is like, you know what? I accept, love, whatever. Jobu Tupaki did not like that. Mind you, remember, Jobu Tupaki, that's them negative mindsets, them negative beliefs. Jobu Tupaki wanted to end it off. It's like Jobu Tupaki realized like she couldn't pull Evelyn down anymore in the way that she thought. So like she tried to just go into the everything bagel, and Evelyn wanted to stop her because Evelyn was like, yo, you gotta see the light too. I don't want you to be miserable either. I don't want you to die. Like, I'm not trying to kill you off. You don't have to run away. Like, you don't have to dissipate into the thinness air of the everything bagel. Like, you don't have to do that. And the way Evelyn was able to get through to Jobu Tupaki was through the use of love and acceptance, as well as embracing Jobu Tupaki, because that is what ended up transforming everything. So I say this to say, like, you're not here to destroy and kill your limiting beliefs. You're here to accept them and love them and transmute them. You're here to show those negative parts of you, those demons. You're here to show them the light. You're not here to fear them and run away from them. You're here to show those parts of you the light, to show those parts of you love, to show those parts of you acceptance. All parts of you want to be seen and heard. Your limited beliefs, your wounds, etc., all just want to be seen. They want to be felt and they want to be accepted. They want to be shown that light. All right, so that's essentially what the end of the movie. She just learned to love her life. So here are my closing points of the movie. You are already everything and more. The only thing holding you back is your lack of recognition of that. Next highlight, out of sight, out of mind. Meaning out of awareness, out of existence. Okay? Out of consciousness, it's out of existence. Out of sight, out of mind. All right? All right. Third point. Everything is neutral. Everything is neutral. The only reason that things have value is because you assign it. Because you are the one that gives things power, whether positive or negative. You assign the value. The power is not in the thing. The power is you. You are the powerful one here. Fourth point, God was within every version of that main character. Every single version of Evelyn had God within her. And this is exemplified within her ability to choose, within her free will. The main character, she just had to learn how to choose her alternative. She had to choose how to see things differently. She had to change her perspective. She just had to do it in spite of what she was seeing around her. Change her perspective. It changed her life. So, in conclusion, everything is possible, but that's entirely up to you. Everything is just within this sea of possibilities, and all of these possibilities exist at the same time. And the only reason it wouldn't be here now is if you aren't focusing on it. So as long as you're focusing on it, it's here now. And a lot of people will be like, oh, but it's not in my 3D. That's because you're saying it's not in your 3D. The fuck? Y'all be missing the point. Just focus on what you want. Damn. Like, what are you choosing to matter in your life? And is that really what you want? And if it's not what you want, stop focusing on it. And that's all for this video. Very long-winded, but I hope you enjoyed. I hope you got some knowledge here. I hope you peeped game, and I hope you leave your own comments about what you thought about the different points, as well as what you thought about the movie and the different things that you saw, because I'm sure that there are tons of other meanings that we could find within the movie. So I thank you all so much for watching this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share. Check out my booking site in the description box below. Check out some of my subliminals and my affirmations that are on this channel. You can also purchase subliminals and affirmations on my website if you want customized subliminals. I love you all so goddamn much. I will see you all within the next video. Bye. Yeah.